All right, we finally have some new details about Spider-Man freshman year, including a release date and a new synopsis for the first episode and for the series overall. Now, so far we have seen some absolutely incredible artwork for the upcoming show. Fans are super excited for this project, especially since they announced that Matt Murdock, aka Daredevil, is going to be joining the show, and Charlie Cox, Daredevil himself, is even going to be voicing the character. And with the new information that we have gotten over the past couple of days, we've learned about even more characters that are going to be showing up during Spider-Man freshman year. This, along with our new plot synopsis and what Marvel Studios executives have told us before, we have a pretty good idea of what Spider-Man freshman year is going to be about. And we'll tell you everything you need to know about this upcoming Marvel Studios Disney Plus series in this video. And if you're new, be sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on any of the latest news. Also, so you can enter our giveaway for a chance to win an Xbox Series X, a PS5, some Marvel Legends items, or some DC items. The winner picks one item and we pick a winner at the end of each month. All you gotta do is subscribe and leave a comment on our videos. So some of you may have heard that recently Marvel Studios has filed some of their properties with the US Copyright Office. In these filings, which are public, a lot of information about the projects filed can be found. For Spider-Man freshman year, it specifically talks about episode 101. So we assume that this is going to be the first episode. For type of work pre-registered, it states motion picture, and then for application title and regular title, it states Spider-Man freshman year episode 101. And here's where it gives us an approximate release date. It says creation of work began in 2022, March 25th. The date of anticipated completion is December 15th of 2023, this year, not too long from now. And the projected date of publication, or the release date, is currently scheduled for November 2nd of 2024. So about a year away, a little bit over a year. So not too long. We didn't really know when we were going to get the show thanks to all the delays and the schedule shifts. And luckily for us, there is actually a lot happening in 2024 to hold us over until we get this show. But that is the approximate release date that Marvel Studios filed with the Copyright Office. Now, a part of this is also a description of the plot of which is apparently just for the first episode, since the first episode, episode 101, is the one being registered here. And here's what it says. Under description of work, it states, description of the work. Marvel Studios presents Spider-Man freshman year, in which Peter Parker's life, while getting ready for his high school orientation, is forever changed by events that send him on a journey like none before. And this is obviously his Spider-Man journey, although it does have a twist to it, which we'll get to in a second. It continues to state, in the first episode, we discover that the new era of Spider-Man begins here. Okay, so a new era of Spider-Man, one that we haven't seen before in the MCU, and this does take place in a separate universe, not the main Earth 616 universe. We'll talk about that in a bit. But part of this description is the main cast. It states, main cast includes Hudson Thames as Peter Parker, Eugene Bird as Lonnie Lincoln, Grace Song as Nico Minoru, Hugh Dancy as Otto Octavius, so Doc Ock, Carrie Walgren as Aunt May, and Zeno Robinson as Harry Osborn. So let's go through these characters real quick. Lonnie Lincoln is Tombstone. Tombstone is an albino bully at Peter Parker's school in high school, and then when they grow up, he becomes a mob enforcer in Philadelphia. And from there, he would become a typical mob boss murderer. Nico, or Sister Grimm, who she goes by in the comics, is a powerful wizard who also had parents who were powerful wizards as well, but they were evil and eventually they died, sacrificing themselves to save her and other children as well. I'm curious to see how her story is going to fit in Spider-Man freshman year, but excited nonetheless. And I think we all know Otto Octavius, Doc Ock. We all should know Aunt May and Harry Osborn as well. Now, what's different about Spider-Man freshman year, as I mentioned, is this is actually kind of a separate multiversal project. It does not take place in the Earth 616 universe. And this info is coming directly from Brad Winderbaum, an executive at Marvel Studios. And when talking about Spider-Man freshman year at San Diego Comic-Con and then again in interviews down the road, he said that it follows the pattern that you see in Captain America Civil War down to Peter getting the broken Blu-ray player. However, there's one really big change. We'll talk about that in just a bit, but first, a big thank you to HelloFresh for sponsoring this video. Many of you probably know by now that I personally use HelloFresh a lot because for me, it simply makes sense. I have a pretty busy schedule in my day-to-day life, and HelloFresh just makes eating good meals a lot easier for me. With over 40 different recipes that I could choose from each week, HelloFresh does all the shopping and meal planning for you. Ingredients arrive at your doorstep, pre-portioned and ready to cook, along with pictured step-by-step recipe cards. They literally make it as easy as it possibly could be. The meals are very quick to make, and they do include some 15-minute meals as well. It takes the hassle out of mealtime, but it also can save you money. HelloFresh is cheaper than grocery shopping and 25% less expensive than takeout. That means less stress of worrying about what you're gonna eat, and you save money. So if interested, go to hellofresh.com/50cosmic and use code 50cosmic for 50% off plus free shipping. That's hellofresh.com/50cosmic and use code 50cosmic for 50% off plus free shipping. So Brad Winterbaum says it goes down to Peter getting the broken Blu-ray player from the trash, and he walks into his apartment for the famous moment where Tony Stark is waiting for him to offer him the Stark internship and take him to Berlin. But he states, but because of things that happen in the multiverse, because of new random occurrences, it's not Tony Stark who's waiting for him there. It's Norman Osborn, and that sends his life in an unexpected trajectory that collides him with many unexpected characters in the Marvel Universe. So this is a very interesting story because it's almost sort of like a what if. What if Norman Osborn was Spider-Man's mentor and not Tony Stark? Except for it being an episode, it's an entire series. And one could see how this could be pretty appealing because if Norman Osborn is going to be Peter Parker's mentor, then perhaps he is going to have to take him out at some point in time. If he's going to go on to become the Green Goblin, then Spider-Man will probably fight him. Or perhaps Harry Osborn, who we've seen become the Green Goblin more than once. Plus we have Daredevil coming in, and it's rumored that Kingpin might be in the show as well, also voiced by his live-action counterpart, Vinny D'Onofrio, which would be awesome since he's already made his MCU debut in the Hawkeye series and is returning for Echo and the live-action Daredevil Born Again series. And speaking of the live-action Daredevil Born Again series, we do also have a plot synopsis and an approximate release date for that show as well. On the copyright that was filed, the release date was slated for January of 2025, so pretty much right when Spider-Man freshman year ends, Daredevil Born Again will start. And here's what it says for the episode 1 synopsis. Marvel Studios presents Daredevil, in which longtime rivals Matt Murdock and Wilson Fisk try to leave behind their darker alter egos to serve the people of New York, only to have their pasts catch up to them. In the first episode of the series, we are reintroduced to the world of Daredevil. That's a very interesting word they use there, reintroduced to the world of Daredevil. This implies that it's really not a reboot, but might be more of a continuation, just kind of down a separate path than the Netflix series. We have a lot of returning cast members, including Jon Bernthal's The Punisher, and it looks like this synopsis has confirmed recent reports that Wilson Fisk, aka Kingpin, is going to be the mayor of New York City in Daredevil Born Again. Perhaps he was doing that to simply leave behind his past and then it catches up with him, or could he still be doing that to have even more power as a criminal boss? Born Again is one of the projects I am most excited about, and so is Spider-Man freshman year, so go ahead and let us know your thoughts about both of these projects in the comments down below. What do you think about all the news we heard today? Let us know your thoughts in the comments down below, and don't forget to like the video and subscribe to stay up to date with all things in the MCU. You can also find us on Instagram and Twitter as well, and as always, thank you all so much for watching. Woof woof.